Welcome to this explainer. We spend so much of our waking lives just navigating this constant tension between what we absolutely have to do and what we truly deeply want to do. We build these complex mental schedules, we negotiate with our own desires, and we literally make silent bargains with time itself. But what if the very foundation of those bargains is completely flawed? What if the way we structure our passions around our obligations relies on a fundamental misunderstanding of reality? So, settle in. We're going to explore a very brief but absolutely potent concept today that challenges the whole way we interact with time, duty, and our own joy. It's an exploration of claiming the present moment. Okay, let's dive into this. Are you relying on tomorrow? I want you to really think about your personal goals, the things that bring you genuine joy, those projects or passions that make you feel truly alive. Are you actively doing them right now, or are you constantly putting them off? You know the ones, that novel you're definitely going to write someday, or that acoustic guitar sitting in the corner of your room that's basically just acting as a very expensive, very dusty coat rack. We tend to treat tomorrow like a sort of endless, overflowing storage locker for our dreams. We tell ourselves that tomorrow is when we'll finally have the energy, the focus, and the freedom to do what we actually love. We treat the future as this guaranteed resource, right? A blank canvas miraculously free of today's stresses. But guys, this reliance isn't just a little bit optimistic, it's actually a really dangerous trap. Because what happens is we make a terrible trade-off almost every single day. We prioritize the mundane chores, the endless checklists, the perceived immediate obligations, and we sacrifice our passions by pushing them further and further away. We kind of convince ourselves that we have to earn our joy by suffering through our duties first. We tell ourselves, okay, only when the desk is completely clear, only when every single email is answered, and only when all of today's tasks are 100% finished, will I finally be permitted to engage in what I love. It's a transaction we make with ourselves, but as we're about to see, the currency we're paying with is completely counterfeit. The source we're unpacking today has a stark, uncompromising rule for this. It says, never rely on tomorrow to do something that you love and postpone it. I want to let the weight of that absolute directive sink in for a second. Never rely. Not try to avoid relying or rely a little less. Never. Because to postpone what you love is to actively devalue it. When we take the things that bring us joy and constantly push them into the future, we're subtly telling ourselves that our happiness is secondary. We're building this deeply ingrained habit of delay. And this habit, it isn't just a harmless bit of procrastination. It is a profound risk built on a massive assumption about how time actually works. And this brilliantly illustrates why we fall into this trap. It's a massive cognitive blind spot. We postpone things thinking we'll get to them when today's tasks are finished. And the danger lies right there in that very thought process. We operate under this delusion that completing today's chores is going to magically create a pristine, uninterrupted vacuum of free time later on. We believe that if we just push hard enough through the grind right now, a beautifully clear window will suddenly open up. But honestly, anyone who has ever lived through a busy week knows that the to-do list never truly ends. When one thing is finished, another immediate demand usually rushes right in to take its place. The idea that finishing a task today somehow guarantees time for joy tomorrow, it's a complete mirage. So this whole strategy of delaying our passions requires tomorrow to be a stable, reliable, and predictable destination. But here's the harsh reality. Tomorrow isn't a destination at all. It's a total illusion. It is literally just a projection of our minds. And yet we make concrete plans, we delay our deepest joys, and we sacrifice our present happiness, all resting on the incredibly fragile assumption that this illusion will manifest exactly as we picture it in our heads. Let's break this down further. Think about this literal, sobering fact. You have never in your entire life actually seen tomorrow. Every single time you wake up, it's today. Every moment you have ever lived, loved, or acted has been in the present tense. Tomorrow remains perpetually out of reach. It's like a horizon that constantly recedes as you walk toward it. Therefore, since you never actually see it, assuming you know exactly what it's going to be like is a monumental leap of logic. You are essentially betting the things you love most on a reality you have never once witnessed. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it lays out three absolutely insurmountable problems with waiting for the future. Because it's always out of grasp, tomorrow brings these massive issues. Number one, it is conceptually invisible. Number two, its conditions are a complete mystery. And number three, and most dangerously, you have zero control over it. Even if you physically arrive at the next day, your energy levels, your mood, your circumstances, they're entirely unknown.
By placing what you love into a space you cannot see, cannot predict, and cannot command, you're effectively abandoning it to pure chance. Let's move to and see how this builds into the final, really unavoidable climax of this argument. That lack of control, that is the real kicker here. When we envision our postponed plans, we usually picture them happening in a perfect vacuum, don't we? We imagine ourselves finally sitting down to paint, or write, or just spend time with loved ones, in absolute peace and quiet. But that completely ignores the reality of the world we actually live in. The world is complex, it's noisy, and it is absolutely indifferent to your carefully postponed itinerary. The reality is that tomorrow is populated by forces entirely outside of yourself. As the source points out, you have absolutely no control over the various external factors that could conflict and interfere with your life tomorrow. It's the final nail in the coffin for procrastination. External chaos is just waiting. Your car breaks down, a deadline randomly shifts at work, a pipe bursts in the kitchen. Life happens, right? The world is full of variables that will inevitably conflict and interfere with your life. Your neatly postponed plans are entirely at the mercy of a universe you simply do not command.
So, when you pit your fragile, idealized, perfectly timed plans against the chaotic, unpredictable interference of the outside world, well, the outside world is going to win almost every single time. By leaving what you love to tomorrow, you're basically throwing it into an arena filled with obstacles, just hoping it somehow survives untouched. It is a wildly unfair fight, and unfortunately, your passions end up being the casualties.
So the crucial point is, what is the alternative? Well, it's what we call the sovereign power of now. It's the conscious, rebellious act of refusing to postpone what you love for a tomorrow you cannot control. It's reclaiming your agency today, right in the middle of all the messiness. It means recognizing that the only time you possess any actual control over is this exact moment. Sovereignty isn't about controlling the external world, because we can't. It's about ruling your own present actions. By choosing to engage with what you love right now, even before the chores are perfectly finished, you are exercising the highest form of power over your own life. You are securing your joy before the unpredictable future can steal it away.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself, what are you postponing? What is that one passion, that creative spark, or that connection you've convinced yourself you'll get to when things calm down, or when the work is done? We've seen today that tomorrow is an illusion. It's invisible, it's utterly beyond your control, and it's filled with endless external interferences. The only true sovereignty you have is the power to act today. Don't wait for a tomorrow you will never see. Claim your time, and do it today.